that since Vice President Harris entered the race, the gap among women voters has grown to a now double-digit lead for her over Donald Trump, according to our CBS most recent survey. So how do they close that? Because just as recently as last week, J.D. Vance said he's disoriented and disturbed that the head of the most powerful teachers union in the country doesn't have a single child. He continues to say things that certainly are highlighted as being offensive to women. That is going to hurt, won't it, with female voters?
It's not helpful. It's not helpful. I mean,
is he an effective messenger for the policies you say they are stronger on?
I think that the policies, look, you can either look at style or you can look at substance. I choose as a voter to look at substance. The style, I will say.
What's the substance of that, though?
The substance is cutting taxes, making housing more affordable, immigration, national security. That's the substance. The style is, no, it is not helpful to talk about whether women have children or whether they don't. It's not helpful to say any of those things that are personality driven or anything else. I have said that, and I will continue to say to Republicans, stop it. That's not helpful. You know, if you want to talk about things, stick with policy. Americans are smart. They don't need all of this other noise to distract them. They just want to know how you're going to help them. And they're, you know, what I would suggest to every American, look at the records of each of them. You've got some stark contrast there. You know, Harris was not strong on the border. Trump was strong on the border. Harris wanted to eliminate fracking. Now she's taking that back. But energy production was not as strong as it was under the Trump administration.
It's at a record high right now, actually. But when you listen to some of the things, you said you don't like handouts, and you're concerned about sort of the fiscal conservatism here. Former President Trump pledged to mandate that the government and insurance companies pay for fertilization treatments or IVF treatments for women. Is that a policy you would support, that insurance companies or the federal government pay for that?
It's not a policy I support any more than it's a policy of Kamala Harris to remove private health insurance or Medicare for all. Look, at the end of the day,
but this is the head of the Republican Party. This is the Republican nominee.
I know, but Margaret, you also have to talk about the head of the Democrat Party. You know, don't just look at one and not look at the other. When you talk about Medicare for all, when you talk about removing private health insurance, you might as well be Canada. You might as well look at socialist health care. We never want to get to that point because you're not going to get IVF or anything else, cancer drugs or anything else when it comes to that. When you look at health care, we need to know, both of my children were products of fertility. We want that option to be available to everyone. But the way you do it is you don't mandate coverage. Instead, you go and you make sure that coverage is accessible and you make sure that you're doing everything you can to make it affordable.
You would still urge people who identify as Republican to support policies that you say are not conservative.
I don't agree with Trump 100% of the time. I don't have to like him or agree with him 100% of the time to know that life for Americans would be better under the policies where we have strong immigration, where we have law and order, where we have an economy where we can look at opportunities, where we've got national security that is strong. I don't need to sit there and like someone to decide those policies are better.
But it's grading on a curve.
It's not grading on a curve. I think it's how you look at it, because I would ask you, how are people going to be better going through the next 4 years like we have the last 4 years? Any American will tell you their life is not better. So our goal is, how do we make life better? Instead of making it about the personalities, can we not start saying, what do we all agree about on the policies? Because there's some serious policy concerns.
Let me ask you about China, because this is a